Okay, so next up, I've got a partner of mine. He and I build immersive experiences inside the metaverse, and as well as our partner over there, Faraz, as well. And I'm excited for him to show us what he's working on today. So with that, and by the way, my son Leo absolutely loves Roberto. We had fun in Dubai together, and you truly are like Uncle Roberto. So thank you very much. I know if Leo's tuning in right now, he's probably like, "That's Roberto. We play video games." So Roberto, come on stage. It's your turn. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody.
So to navigate, it's the green one. Hello, hello. Okay, so hello everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be with you today, right here to discuss a fascinating topic. And I would like to start with a simple, though not so simple question. If this works. The what? Okay, thank you so much. That is, what is life, right? So we all want to know what is life, that's the reality. So as technology evolves, the line between life and machine blurs. Traditionally, we have seen life as a system that propagates itself. Thus, right now, simple programs can meet this definition, right? So what sets us apart from machines and what distinguishes us from code, or are they alive? Well, probably to understand life, to describe life, we must first understand life. And that's what we are gonna do. We are gonna review how our evolving understanding of life it's shaping a new era of artificial intelligence that let us put life into machines that can reason, evolve, and think just like humans. So, well, we are going to start by reviewing this concept, consciousness, which is one of the most mysterious concepts on Earth right now. Well, so according to neuroscience, consciousness might be the result of complex interactions between the neurons into our brain with a considerable precision, right? So let's say from a reductionist perspective, every single mental process can be defined by a physical process, right? And it can look straightforward, but in reality it is not. Because neuroscience has a lot of troubles by trying to describe the subjective experience. And the reality is that the subjective experience cannot be fully explained by neurobiological processes alone. For instance, mental phenomena like thoughts, sensations, or feelings can be just reduced to like neural processes itself, because if we do it, then we're forgetting, we're missing the qualitative aspect of their experience, like what it feels to be conscious. And well, this is very well explained by a very famous philosopher, Thomas Nagel, maybe you know him, that one day said, what it is like to be a bat, or what it is like for a bat to be a bat, right? Because in reality, we cannot explain consciousness if we take out the subjective experience of it. Because why the sense of vision feels like vision, or why the sense of audition doesn't feel like vision? Well, basically, this highlights one of the most and biggest challenges on Earth, which is answering what consciousness in reality is. But to address consciousness, we need to first address what is the consciousness of a bat. And for that, we need to create a whole theory of how the brain of a bat is, and we need to translate it into a subjective experience, which might look impossible because we cannot be bats, right? And it is tempting to say it's not feasible. However, of course, indeed, we cannot become bats, and we cannot make a direct theory about what it is to be a bat. But we cannot create a direct theory about how life emerged or how the universe started, right? So not all questions have an answer. It's more about making the right question and then giving to it the right answer. So let's try to find one that is probably more accurate. That is, where does consciousness emerge from? And now the party starts here. because according to IIT, one of the most promising and interesting theories about consciousness says that consciousness might emerge from as the result of the causal mechanisms into a sufficiently integrated system. Okay, and it is precisely from these causal mechanisms where the subjective experience emerge. A subjective experience that is quantified by phi. Okay, basically phi measures the level of integration of a system. So this means that a higher level of phi means a higher level of integration, and a lower level of phi means a lower level of integration. Therefore, a higher level of phi means a higher level of consciousness, and a lower level of phi means a lower level of consciousness or the absence of it, right? And this has a massive implication because maybe and just maybe consciousness is not anymore a property of organic brains. It can be also a property of complex systems like artificial intelligence. And now that we talk about artificial intelligence, what is artificial intelligence, right? And it is truly intelligent, and thus artificial intelligence has consciousness. Well, I think we must talk about intelligence first, right? Well, so intelligence, usually referred as IQ, is the dynamic ability of facing challenges by taking the contextually appropriate decisions, let's say. It could be planning a weekend adventure or investing in a long-term career. And maybe consciousness and intelligence can look pretty similar, but in reality they are not. They belong to totally different domains. Normally, intelligence is referred as doing, while consciousness is referred as being. I don't know who was talking about that before. Yeah, that was you, and that was pretty accurate. And we can see the difference on this chart, okay? We have on the y-axis consciousness, and we have on the x-axis intelligence, right? We have a starfish, which is a not so intelligent creature, but it has some, otherwise it could not survive. Then we have an ant, we have a rat, a dog, and finally humans, right? I would like to ask you if you would know where to plot ChatGPT. For example, I'm sure you all know ChatGPT. Well, basically ChatGPT, of course, doesn't have consciousness, but it is very intelligent. In fact, it is more intelligent than us. Let's say that intelligence can be achieved in many different ways. For instance, we don't born with a specific ability of reading, but as we grow in a culture where we have an alphabet, we learn how to read, and then we read of other humans' creativities, and this fosters our creativity even more, right? And the most interesting thing here is that similarly, LLMs work differently, right? Because what they do is they take all the human creativity and they give us surprisingly accurate responses. So this means that somehow they have some kind of intelligence, right? And the most fascinating thing here is that there is no limit for the x-axis. Intelligence can be achieved like to the infinite. And well, this makes AI really powerful, but at the same time, very scary, okay? You know, humans, we are so naive, and our deep-seated need of boosting our ego makes us, break natural barriers and make possible the impossible. So I don't know if you know what it is. This is basically a stem cell, okay, converting into a neuron. This is one of the most beautiful phenomena on Earth, okay? This is extremely complex process. So now imagine this process happening millions of times, creating an entire network of neurons that are working in a coordinated way. Well, so a process that was solely from nature, now humans, we have created our own organic brains, let's say, artificially, which is extremely impressive. And that's what organoids are, okay? Organoids are miniature versions of our brains that are grown in a laboratory from stem cells that try to mimic the structure of a real brain, okay? And while they cannot plan, they cannot execute, however, they open a totally new window about how to address causality, right? One moment. All right, so I think it's time to plot where an organoid would be. And it is surprising, but they already show some kind of consciousness. So let's say the addition of stimuli through the integration of sensors into the organoids are already creating the first forms of free that address of fee, sorry, that are showing some kind of causal continuity and information integrity. And this is precisely the definition of what consciousness is. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, basically it's just a matter of time as neuromorphic and quantum computing is advancing that we see the first frameworks that bring together intelligence and consciousness, and they create other kinds of artificial life. So basically taking back the question of what is life, we now may have an answer. Life could be being by doing, or consciousness multiplied by intelligence, right? And this opens a totally new way to understand life, because it's not about being alive or not. It's a whole spectrum between 0 and n that let us quantify life as a dynamic interplay between existence and action. So, well, we may be eventually in the future capable of creating bats from scratch, and who knows, maybe even answer what it feels to be bats. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much.